film both came together very quickly, but it was also one that you had an idea for decades ago.
Yeah, the first documentary that was made about John was, I think, in about 1989, and I remember watching it, and that was before I was a director or before I started writing, but my instinct was that his story would one day make a great film. And over the years, I kept checking in. If I could, I saw another couple of documentaries, and I saw John grow up from 15 to 20s to 40s to 50s. And then I was aware that he'd been awarded an MBE. And about 2.5 years ago, I sat down and tried to work out what I wanted to do for my next film. I knew I wanted to write it. I knew I wanted to direct it. I knew I wanted as much control over the making of it as possible. So I traced John. It was quite easy on Facebook. I went to meet him, and that was an experience. And I came away and basically said, look, have a think about it and let me know if you'd like me to start the process of writing a script which you would approve and you would look at and you would check all the way through. And then hopefully, if we can make this happen, making a film about your life. And he came back and he said, okay, let's do it, let's go.
Beautiful. Robert, I've been loving reading the press that's been coming out about this film and since the premiere a couple of days ago. So much of it is centered on your remarkable performance. Another round of applause. I know you worked closely with John as well at various stages throughout this. Can you share about that experience with John?
Yeah, I just thank you everyone, by the way. I spent as much time as I could with John, and I was in Dallas Shields quite a lot, and I met him very early on in the process, and then I went away for a little bit, which was really useful because I met the man, and I instantly, you can't meet John and not fall in love with him really quickly. And then I went away and was able to just study Tourette's as much as I could, intellectually, gain as much knowledge as I possibly could. And then I was back with John, living in Dallas Shields for a little bit, and just learning about him and his life. It was, John was amazingly supportive of the process and supportive of me, and I'm just really, really happy with that.
Beautiful. We'll get to your inspiration and concise film-specific questions in a minute. But Kirk, just a question for you in terms of this ending in Tues was a bit of a surprise. Can you speak about that?
Yeah, I started to work my way through the script, and I think in my mind I thought, okay, John gets his MBE, and that'll be the end of the movie. It kind of felt like, of all that's happened in his life, that was the right time to end the script. And then John called one day. He said, "Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you." He said, "I went down to Nottingham, and they're working on this kind of funny band thing, and I went down and we had to do these tests, and they gave me a band which might help with my Tourette's." And I said, "Well, let me know how you get on with it." And I spoke to him a week later, and he said it was extraordinary. I think he said that he thought it reduced his tics by something like 80%, and that is life-changing for John. That means that he can go to the supermarket and buy a pint of milk and come home without upsetting someone, getting into trouble, irritating someone. And I had two thoughts. The first was unselfish, which was, this is an incredible, or potentially an incredible development for everyone around the world who has Tourette's. But the second thought was really selfish, and that was, I think I've got a really surprising end to the film. So I met with the people in Nottingham who were amazing. About 50% or 55, 56% of people are responding in various ways to the band. It's due to be released sometime next year, and John has been helping them develop it. So it just felt like a surprising end, an additional hope for someone who has lived with Tourette's all of his life.
Just raise your hand, please. I want to repeat the question for the sake of everyone in the audience. Here in the white, hello.
So I know for Robert, you do a lot of research for your roles, and you go really deep into it. Is there something that was surprising or that stuck with you for the research that you did for this role?
So Robert, in terms of the research for the preparation for the role, was there something particularly surprising for you?
Yeah, I mean, lots. I mean, it was a real education for me, and learning about various different ticks and ticks that you don't see, things that ways that the condition presents itself that you did not know there, one of the things that I was most thankful for was like how amazing the people that I met were. I was a lot with Tourette Scotland and stuff, and there was just some incredible people there and doing some amazing work. So I just feel really thankful for Tourette Scotland in particular. Their input, and it was a real learning curve for me. I'm very thankful for it. That answers your question.
Next question, please. Right there. Hello.
I love the comment, like near the end, that was made in terms of comedy, in terms of being able to laugh but not laugh like at what's happening, but with them. So I just wanted to know, like, have people from the community seen this film yet, or any comments, like, in terms of their relationship with it?
The line of questioning is in regards to the use of humor, not punching down, and also we talked about the permission to laugh in some way during the film. Have people from the community seen this film?
They have seen it and they adore it and they love it. And I saw a post the other day of a woman just in absolute floods of tears. She hadn't seen the film, she'd seen the trailer. But through the tears, she was basically saying, finally, there is a film that tells our story and makes people aware of the issues that we have to live with every day, and maybe they will stop laughing, and then maybe they will stop pointing, and maybe they will stop trying to video us with their phones. When I first met John, one of the first things I said to him was, if I said to you that I identify a level of humour in this condition, would it upset you, would it anger you? He said, absolutely not. He said he laughs constantly at his daily life, and he laughs with his own friends and other people who have Tourette's. He said essentially he's lived the most tragic and humorous life that you could imagine, and it's all kind of mixed up into one, on a daily basis. And for someone who's always looking for, to mix drama and comedy and balance the two and play them off against each other, that made me think, okay, this could make a great film.
Next question. Aaron DeBlanc.
Peter Mullen's role is so important in this one. Can you talk about the process of how you were able to pull him in?
Sorry, could you repeat that question?
Yeah, Peter Mullen's role is so important in this film, of course. Can you talk about the process of how you were able to pull him in and discuss that?
Yeah, you talked about Peter Mullen's role with the wonderful caretaker who employed John.
Yeah, I mean, Tommy, the character, was incredibly important to John, and I knew it needed someone who had a level of humour, who looked like they did work in a community centre, that people believed was a real character, and he certainly did. It's hard to believe when I watched the film that we only had Peter for 3 days. That was it. It was a scheduling issue, but we made the most of him for those 3 days, and he plays a huge part. And maybe Rob can, I know Rob's a big fan, so maybe Rob can just say a little bit about Peter.
Oh yeah, I mean, I absolutely love playing with Peter, and he had like a real. He had a real just from the word go. He was talking about his guy and a lot with Peter. It's meeting somebody with Tourette's for the first time if you have no knowledge of Tourette's. That's what so the experience that really leaned into, and so it just created this safe platform to play with. I love Peter.
An amazing cast: Maxine Peake, Shirley Henderson, as well as Jadera and Scott Ellis, who played the young John. Phenomenal. I have a question in the front. Hello.
Hi, sorry about that. I'm just amazed by the feat of acting. It seems so physical, such an amazing thing. I'm wondering, how difficult was that? How did you train? And was it harder than adopting a Scottish accent?
The question for everyone was just in regards to, again, John's performance was extraordinary, certainly no doubt very physical. How did you prepare, or what prepared you to take this?
Yeah. Well, thank you for your question, Mr. I appreciate it. Yeah, I just wanted to sort of try and get out of my own way, really, you know, and not make it all about ticks. It's about John, and trust that the ticks will happen when they're supposed to happen or not supposed to happen. So yeah, I did a lot of work just trying to get out of my own way. This amazing movement coach called Alex Reynolds, who's just awesome, and she really helped me. So yeah, I feel really thankful for that support, but also just the support that Kirk gave me and everybody gave me to just really play and experiment. It's not often that you get some of the opportunities that I had on this to just try stuff. So yeah, thankful for that.
We're wrapping up soon, but we still have time for some questions. But before we do, Kirk, I'm hoping you can just tell the story about why John wore trousers to receiving his MBE.
Yeah, when I first met John, I started to ask him about the MBE experience, because I was fascinated, you know, how does someone meet the Queen and what was going through his head, knowing that he could say or do anything at any time, which he obviously did. That was a true story. He did go in, he went into the big hall, and that was the first thing he shouted when he saw everyone. But I said, you know, just tell me a bit more. Did you wear a kilt? He said, no. He said, I wanted to wear a kilt. He said, but you know, and I'm sure everyone here knows that traditionally and historically, a true Scotsman would never wear anything under their kilt. And he said, I know what I would have done. He said, I'd have gone out to the Queen and I'd have just gone, way! He said, I said, I want trousers. He said, I want them with some trousers.
There was an enthusiastic hand here in the right.
First of all, fantastic performance. Congratulations on the premiere. We'll give her a applause for that, first of all. I know this is all about trying to raise awareness, but what would your main message want you to anyone out there in the world who's thinking about watching this movie?
The question, I guess, was for Kirk. Is there something in particular that you really wanted to convey as a deeper sort of meaning or message to the audience?
I think if it was a headline, it would just simply be raise awareness, but more than that, there's a title at the end there which is saying, you know, that there may be drugs available which are improving, there may be technology improving, but actually the very best way to help people with this condition, and actually people with all kind of neurodiverse conditions as well, is to, you know, just give a little respect, give them time, and support them. And that's, you know, everyone can do that now, today, as they leave the auditorium. If they don't do it already, it's a really simple thing, but, you know, we can all support them much more than medication or bans or anything like that.
Very good. And remember, you can vote for this film at TIFF50. Spread the word that this is playing again on Thursday. Guys, Rob, Kirk, I wish you all the best with this film. Deserve all the success. Thank you.